So there's been a kind of a debate again with the ministry that we're ordained with regarding how to evangelize. And I think Jesus made this pretty darn simple. There is the only written way to talk to someone about the Lord is when Jesus taught in parables, when Paul and Peter and the others in the book of Acts evangelized. But when they did, they also did that while feeding and clothing the poor, not as a separate act of service necessarily, but together. Because you have the Lord and because you love him so much, you want to give acts of service to other people. Are you going to run to that person and say, oh, but do you go to this church? Or do you follow this pastor? I don't know about that music you listen to. Why don't you tell me that before I tell you about the Lord and give you the sandwich before you drop of starvation? It's getting out of hand. I mean, Jesus spoke very clearly about this. And obviously in Romans 10, incredibly simple evangelizing. And this has really gotten, again, just like far way off into Never Never Land. And so the Lord reminded me in a dream last night about giving acts of service to people you don't agree with, that you already know you don't agree with. Let me put it that way. So like if I just go to somebody on the street and I've never seen them before, I don't know anything about them, and evangelize, then you're just evangelizing, right? You have no preconception about anything. And you shouldn't, by the way. But in the dream, the Lord was trying to show me that he wanted me to do an act of service to somebody who had done something that I am fundamentally against as a Christian. Okay? And because we are pro-life advocates and anti-abortion activists, they used a baby. The Lord used a baby as an example of taking care of this little person, this little child, this innocent baby. It had nothing to do with all of this, for this woman who may or may not be doing this other thing that I fundamentally disagree with. So acts of service are exactly that. It's an act of service. You should do that. Just like you don't see that. What you see is Jesus. You see the Lord working in little bitty bits and pieces to maybe help this person or turn their life around, or perhaps show them the Roman road. And because we get in our own way, we are going to miss out on opportunities to sow seed. And so when other people that who are in these ministries or groups, who try to tell you how either how wrong you are, or that you should do this first or do that first, I want you to listen to your heart. I want you to hear what the Lord is telling you. Now, the Lord woke me up in a dream to tell me how wrong I was. You're not above it. I'm not above it. You need to listen to him and do these acts of service, because Jesus was a servant. He came. I don't know if I would have sent my only son to go to a people who are going to do nothing but invalidate everything he ever did or said. So maybe it's our turn to go out into all the world and do what we were supposed to do in the first place. Good morning.